Alright, what is up, Booger Beans? Welcome back to another episode of Adventures of Boog. On this episode, we are going to put in our second diesel heater, as well as hopefully get some more electrical stuff installed in the bus, and start tinting some windows. So, that's what we're getting up to, and time to cut some steel. Okay guys, so what we need to do first is try and remove these bolts that are up here. I'm thinking that they're probably too rusted on there to get off, but I am going to get the impact driver, and I want to say that's maybe a ½ inch, and try and undo them, because if we can take that all off and reuse that bracket, we can then move it forward or backwards as needed, because if you look right up here, this is the hole for the diesel heater. So I only need to move all of this stuff basically 2 inches towards the front of the bus, so that it's on the other side of that. And then that will help protect all the exhaust piping and all that stuff from any rocks and any whatever else that comes out of the tires and stuff like that. So that's the hope. If we can't reuse it, then we'll just have to weld up a new bracket and build something from scratch, but that's the plan for right now. So let's get an impact driver and let's try and see if we can get that off. Alright, let's see if we can get this off. Sounds like the rain's coming here. It's getting pretty stormy out there. I don't know if we can even get this guy up in there. I don't think we can get him up in there. Let's try this guy. Well, it's turning, but I think it's just spinning the nut on the backside, so I gotta get to the other side and see if we can put a wrench on the backside there and try that. Yeah, it's just turning. It's just turning on the backside, so we're just gonna cut it off. Stop wasting time. We got the grinder right here. Let's cut it off. Alright, so we were able to get that plate, or that mud flap off. Had to cut all 4 of those bolts. They're just too rusty. And now, I think we've got another 4 up top there that we have to cut from the front side. And then this whole kind of S bracket or Z bracket can be pulled off the bus. So let's get that done. Alright, so there we go guys. We got it all cut off. As you can see, the cutoff is a lot bigger than expected, because it basically just fell apart when I started to cut it. So I cut up to where the edge where we actually had some good steel here, and left that in. And then what I'll be doing is I'll building a piece of angle that will be bolted to this piece. Just like the old one was, that will go out around on the other side here and then to the wall, but it also come back and re-bolt in here and be all supported with all the old bolts as well. And then we'll probably have to give that a wash and a pressure wash or a sanding, and to try and seal it up to prevent a bit more rust. It is an Albertan bus. Unfortunately, in Alberta we have a lot of salt and gravel and whatever else on the roads in the wintertime, so it's a little hard on the bottom of your bus, that's for sure. But hey, not too bad. And it doesn't look like anything twisted or deformed or anything when I took it out, so I'm not worried that it was a super structural member, and that there is ones both in front and behind it supporting the rest of the bus, so I'm not worried about that at all. So yeah, let's go inside and start working on the next diesel heater. Okay guys, so we've got a whole bunch of stuff that has arrived. We got our 24 volt to 12 volt DC converter for the heaters. Because we are running a 24 volt lighting system and our battery system is all 24 volts, The only thing in the bus that isn't 24 volts is the heaters. So that's why we need this 24 to 12 converter. And maybe in the future we might get some 12 volt fans or something like that. But I don't know for sure yet. So this one is sized big enough to run both the heaters as well as 2 or 3 like ceiling fans or like window fans or something like that. So this is a 720 watt converter, so that should be fine. Then we got our solar charger, or solar charge controller, I guess. This is a 40 amp EP Ever solar charge controller. And I think there's a guy called DIY Solar on YouTube. I'll leave a link to his channel up in the top here. And he did a 24 volt setup and used this controller and hasn't had any issues with it, so that's why I'm going with it as well. We also have our inverter, our fuse switches, our circuit breakers. They're all still on order, but they won't be here until May 14th, 15th, something like that. And then we got the last one in this big box. We got our heater. So we ordered the exact same model and brand as the previous heater off eBay. We've had no issues with the old one, so hopefully we don't have any issues with the new one. It looks basically the exact same as the gold one, but this one is just all black, carbon fiber kind of looking cover. It's obviously not carbon fiber. It's just plastic, and same 8 kilowatt heater. I believe these only can possibly produce about 6 kilowatts if they're almost 100% efficient, so I don't think they're quite that efficient, but they heat up the bus really well. So this is our second one, and this should allow us to have, without the fireplace running, be able to take the bus down to -40 without any issues. So that's the goal, that's the dream, and this is going to make it happen. So let's get it installed, just right beside its partner, underneath the batteries over there, and yeah, everything should be good. It's also like a monsoon outside right now. It's the first real good rainstorm of 2020, so gotta look on the bright side of things right now, and I guess that's a good thing, maybe. It's gonna green up the grass, green up the trees. We just planted some seed out in the horse pasture, so this rain, actually they planted it last night, so the rain will definitely help help get that seed bedded down and get it germinating, so that's pretty awesome. Let's get on to installing this guy. Okay guys, so there is our little double furnace install. So yeah, it fit in there pretty well. It's a little tight, and I have to mount it at a little bit of an angle in order to match with the heater pipe intake here and the other one. That was just because I simply rushed welding that all together, but nothing that we can do about it. It's in there, looks pretty good. We still have lots of space on this side for our outdoor air intake and all that stuff that we have to build on this side at the end. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Looks good. It would have been nice if they were the same color, but that's okay. No worries. But now I can't really do much more with this until I go get some wiring and get the fuel tank and that kind of stuff, because I actually want to make... Oops, let's just put all this wiring in here. Just stuff all that in there for now. I actually don't want to keep taking these in and out, obviously, so I need to get the installation of these finalized. So I need to get the exhaust piping, I need to get the fuel tank, I need to get the pumps mounted, all that kind of stuff underneath the bus, but I don't have any of the materials to do that. So that's where those are going to stay for now. It has warmed up out here in Alberta, so we're looking like it's going to be okay for the next little while until we get that stuff. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to mount my solar charge controller up there on the wall, basically right in that spot right there. And yeah, that's about it for tonight. That will probably be it. Maybe we'll do some tinting of that window, but we'll see where we get. So let's do it. So guys, so we got that furnace basically installed yesterday, and now we're going to start doing some window tinting. I have never tinted windows before in my life. So this is gonna be a first time ever doing this. The reason that we're tinting the windows is mostly for privacy, but also we got, I don't know, heat shield tint. So this obviously won't be enough to do the whole bus, but it'll be enough to do a couple windows, kind of get figured out what we need to do. And then we'll basically go from there. This should help keep the bus a little bit cooler by blocking a whole bunch of the UV light that's coming in. This is 5% visible light transmission. For the most of the windows, this is what we're going to use. But for the bathroom window, I am going to order some limo tint from Amazon or something like that, which is 100% blocked. So it will basically, or not, I guess it's not 100%, but it's like you can't see in at all, but you can still see out or something like that. I don't know, but darker than this. So yeah, so what we need to do is we need to get spray bottle, a squeegee, and a utility knife. This is not Febreze. This is soap and water. Just dish soap and some warm water in there. You use this to help place your tint as well as clean the window. So what we're going to do is we're going to spray this on the window. Then we're going to actually take the razor blade out of the utility knife and scrape the window down and then wipe the window clean and then spray it again, and then we'll lay our tint on and kind of measure it and cut it and go from there. Again, I've never done this before. It's probably going to not look the best for the first one or two, but we've got like 30 windows to figure out how to do it nicely on. So yeah, let's get into it. So the tint that I did buy, I guess, not did bought, that's awful. Did buy is actually for the mechanical room. But since I've never tinted a window before, I want to practice on a window that's a bit more accessible and easier to try. So I'm going to start with this window right here, and we're going to give it a clean. Give it a good clean. This is just a microfiber cloth. It will pick up a lot of the dust to start with, and then we'll give her a spritz like that. Give it a scrub with this cloth. Turn it the other way so you don't just put the dust back on the window. Give it a nice clean. Guess I probably could spray the top too here. Again, this is just dish soap and water, so it's nothing fancy. Like so. Okay. Now we're going to take the razor blade, or if you have one of those like scraper blades rather than a utility knife, you can use that. But this is what I've got, so this is what I'm going to use. Give this another squirt, and then take the razor blade and scrape the window clean. This is just to get rid of any kind of stuck on imperfections that you might not be able to get with, be careful you don't scratch your glass, that you might not be able to get with just a scrubbing from the what's it called? Goodness, I got the blade stuck on the window. That you wouldn't get from the cloth. Just gives a little bit more bite into the glass to really try and get rid of any imperfections on the glass. Now, I think these windows are basically 24 inches, which is the width of the film we've got. So I'm hoping that we can just kind of like put it in there and it will work really, really good. But maybe it won't. So let's find out. Okay, so I got a cutting board and some straight edges. So what I'm gonna do first, I think I'm gonna roll out enough to do the window, and then I'm gonna cut that off. But I first need to cut the yucky stuff that I don't want on there off, because I don't want to have that end up in my window. So we'll cut that off to start. There we go. So that can just be garbage, basically. Now, we need to cut enough to go all the way across the window here. So this film likes to roll out on you out the end, which isn't very fun to deal with. Put that film aside for a sec. Now what we'll do is we'll spray the window, I think. And then we will put the tint up on the window, and it should kind of stick there. Actually, I'm going to put the top half so that it hangs down easier. There. Okay. So now that's up against the window, nice and tight at the top. Now we'll just kind of smooth it down a little bit so that we can find out where the bottom is, so that we can trim that off. There. Okay, now my hope is we can use this guy for the top, so don't throw that away. We want to keep that. So now I'm gonna pull it to one side here. Tuck it in nice and tight in the edge there. Do that. Good. Now just so you guys know, I have not removed the sticky portion of the film. So you can adjust it, you can move it around, you can do whatever you got to do without it sticking and getting stuck to the window and then you having issues. So you want to fit it all nice and perfectly before you remove any film, or any sticky portion of the film, I guess. Okay, so now we can get it over to this edge, and I think we should be able to kind of trim it while it's on there. So I'm going to cut off this big portion first, so that I know that it's bigger than the window, at least. But I can lay it a little bit flatter against the window. Okay. That looks actually pretty good. Now I'm just going to take my squeegee and I'm just going to remove some of these air bubbles so I can know exactly kind of where that bottom guy is going to line up. So it looks pretty good. There is a bit of a gap along the top there, but the seal of the window makes it so you can't really see it. So yeah, that's pretty good. This window still looks like it's got lots of dirt on it, so I'm gonna give it a couple more good scrubs here and see if we can get it to clean up before we actually put this film on here. So let's too dark.
And now that window is so dust free.
Yeah. So this tint we think is going to be too dark for the living areas. So we're going to go to like a 20% tint for the living areas instead of the 5%, or maybe 15 or something like that. And then the back of the bus, or the mechanical room and bathroom, I'm going to use this tint. I'm not just throwing the tint out. I'm going to use it. But in the mechanical room and bathroom, we're going to use it because it will be the mechanical room and the closet. The windows are actually getting covered, but we're not getting rid of the windows because we think that looks really janky from the outside. So we're keeping all of the windows, but we're going to cover them and seal them, and then you won't be able to see in anyway. And it will look great. Hey, Bean. Alright, Booger Beans. So that was an absolute debacle last night. I tried tinting the windows multiple times, every time failing. The hardest part that I'm running into is the silicone edge of the window is not straight. So when you go to put the tint on there, it always leaves a space. And so I did some research last night, and it looks like that's kind of the way it's going to have to be. So I actually kind of was doing it right. It didn't look the way I wanted it to look. So I'm trying to figure out a better solution for that. So we are going to take a little pause on the window situation for now, until I can figure out either some better solutions or even just do some more research and figure out how to get it done better. And we're going to go to getting up some of our wall paneling up. So on the passenger side of the bus, we're ready for the wall paneling. So what we need to do to start that is we need to put in a couple backing boards. So what those are is basically just a board so that the lap of the paneling can join together on that board so you don't get separation or anything like that happening. Because the windows are like 28 inches center to center, a 48-inch board doesn't really fit very good. And we couldn't find 8-foot ones in the style that we wanted. So we got 48-inch or 48 by 32-inch wainscoting. So what we're going to do is put in those backer boards, seal up the vapor barrier for hopefully the final time, because once you put on the paneling, I'm not taking it off. And then we'll put the wainscoting on top of that. And I think we're just going to use the air compressor and brad nail the wainscoting onto the wall. And that should be more than enough to hold it on there. I don't think that's going to cause any issues. So that's the plan for today, and let's get to it.
Hello, friends. It's really dark.
No, it's just the brightness on the LCD. It turned way down to save battery. Yeah. Okay, Booger Beans. So we got the vapor barrier done all the way up to the location of the fireplace. On the passenger side, the driver's side still looks like crap, but that's okay.
I'm not gonna show you that.
Yeah, we still got some figuring out to do on the driver's side before we're really ready for that, because we got to get cabinets and we have ducting and stuff running on that side, so we have to build like bulkhead and allow that ducting to run through there, and we got to glue all that ducting together because it's actually falling apart. And yeah, so now we are ready to put on the wainscoting. So we have to make one cut on every single piece no matter what, because the panel's 32 inches tall and our wall's 28 inches tall. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go cut those guys down. I'm going to put some pants back on. And yeah, we'll go from there.
And tell us in the comments what color it should be.
What color the wainscoting should be? Yeah,
Okay.
I like that idea. Oh, shit. Oh, that looks like a lot of work. We're busy, I think. So, how freaking good does this look?
This is Wells.
So we got up the first wainscot paneling, and it looks awesome. It looks so freaking good. It's so clean. Well, it's actually dirty.
It's really dirty.
But it looks so good, and the edges are clean, and we're gonna paint it up.
What color should we paint it?
And it's gonna be awesome. Yeah.
Leave a comment below.
Smash the comments down below of all the colors that you think we should do, and we want the Pantone number codes.
That would be ideal.
Yeah.
If you can find a swatch at Home Depot.
Because tealy, green, blue, orange is not a great color to use.
But you could just comment that too, because that's like a lot easier than finding your Pantone code.
Yeah, but that is it for this episode. We are going to do a likes contest, and we're doing 50 likes?
Yeah,
or 45?
Well,
45.
Maybe 40.
40?
Yeah.
I think they can achieve 40 though.
That's the point.
Okay, 40 likes on this episode, and I'll wax my armpits on the next episode. They are pretty nice and hairy for you guys. So yeah, Sydney will wax my armpits on the next episode. If you go down, smash that like button 40 times, tickle the subscribe button, and leave us a comment about what's going on in your life. And we hope you're happy, healthy, and safe out there during this pandemic. And as always, guys, have a great night.
Hook sets are free.
Okay, try to